If you're interested in seeing how I got the scores used in the video, click the link in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into these edge rankings. This brings us to the model's edge 1 in this class, David Bailey. Bailey is one of the most polarizing players here. The production grade 92.4, pass rush grade 90.4, and overall edge score 82.4 paint him as a top player in the class analytically. But there's real skepticism when you watch him, specifically with bend and flexibility. He wins with power, length, and straight line explosiveness, but he doesn't consistently reach the corner at a high level. That raises questions about how translatable his production is at the next level, where tackles can handle linear rushes more easily. The model loves him because he checks nearly every box, but it may be overvaluing production without penalizing stiffness enough, as the model grades David Bailey as a round 1 talent. This edge rusher brings me to one of my personal favorites in the draft, Ruben Bain Jr. As the model's edge 2 in this class, Bain profiles as one of the safest high-end prospects in this group. Their production, with a score of 84.1, an elite breakout age, a score of 100, back up what shows on tape. A naturally disruptive player with refined pass rush instincts. His pass rush grade, 85, paired with a strong run defense grade, 74.9, give him one of the cleanest two-way profiles here. Athletically, 76.3, he's not a freak, but he's well above the threshold and plays with excellent play strength and leverage. The edge score, 80.1, reflects a player with both floor and ceiling. There aren't many glaring holes. He wins with hands, power, and timing. If there's any nitpick, it's that he may not have the rare bend/arc speed of elite sack artists, but his consistency and early age dominance make up for it. The model gives Bain a round 1 projection. Ruben Bain is a great player, but this next player is one of the biggest physical freaks in the entire NFL draft, Malachi Lawrence. Lawrence is an intriguing blend of athleticism with a score of 80.5 and pass rush upside with a score of 78.4. His production, at a score of 63, is decent but not dominant, and his run defense, graded out at 52.8, raised some concerns about three down viability. However, the athletic profile and real burst off the edge gives him a real upside as a pass rusher. The edge score, 73.1, captures that balance. He's not a finished product, but he has tools worth betting on. If he can improve his run defense and consistency, he could likely outperform his draft slot. Likely a late day 1, early day 2 pick with upside. This next player is the most slept on player in the entire draft, Zion Young. Young sits in a solid but unspectacular tier. His production score of 75 is strong, and his run defense grade of 68.6 gives him a respectable baseline as a three down player. However, the pass rush grade, 66.5, and athletic score, 64.5, suggest limited upside as a true difference maker off the edge. He's more of a steady contributor than a dynamic disruptor. The breakout age, 50, is middling, which reinforces the idea that he's not an early dominance player. The final edge score of 67.6 feels appropriate. He's dependable, but not someone you build a pass rush around. Likely a rotational edge with starter upside in the right system. The model gives Zion Young a round 2 grade. This brings us to one of the most physical players in the draft, Gabe Jacas. Jacas is a productive, steady edge with a strong all-around profile. His production score of 75.5 and pass rush grade of 64 suggest a player who wins with more effort and consistency rather than elite traits. The athletic score, 66.3, is solid but not special. He doesn't have a standout trait, but he also doesn't have a major weakness. The edge score of 67.3 reflects that heavy-handed, strong, and rugged profile of Jacas. He projects as a reliable rotational edge who can contribute in multiple phases. The model projects Yakis as a round 2 pick. This player is a top 30 player on my big board and has maybe one of the best names in the draft. R. Mason Thomas. R. Mason Thomas stands out for his physicality and pass rush ability. His pass rush grade of 79.3 is strong, but the run defense grade of 54.1 doesn't quite match the expectations of his play style. It's more flashes than consistency. The production, 49.5, is also underwhelming relative to his tools. Where he really separates himself is as pass rusher on tape. He sets the edge well and plays with unlimited motor. Even if the grading doesn't fully reflect that impact, the edge score of 67 puts him in that mid-tier. But if you value early down reliability and physical presence, he may be more appealing than that. The model grades him out as a round 2 prospect.
And they run right into a run blitz.
The model's edge 7, Cassius Howell, is one of the biggest question marks in the draft. Howell is a well-balanced, well-rounded edge prospect with no glaring weakness besides arm length, but also no elite trait. His pass rush ability, 72.3, production, 76, and athleticism, 72.3, are all solid across the board. However, the run defense, with a grade of 52.2, is the one concern along with arm length. It suggests he may be more of a pass rush specialist early on. The overall edge score of 66.7 reflects a middle-tier profile. He's likely a rotational edge who can contribute immediately on passing downs, with the potential to grow more if he improves his run defense. The model grades him out as a late round 2, early round 3 pick. The model's edge 8 is a bit overrated in my eyes, but still a good player. Clemson's TJ Parker. Parker is another balanced power rusher who is solid across the board with metrics. His pass rush grade of 59.3 and production grade of 59.5 are average, but his run defense grade of 62 and athleticism grade of 67 provide a stable baseline. The breakout age of 70 is encouraging, suggesting some early development. The edge score of 61.7 places him in the lower tier of this group, but he has enough tools to develop into a contributor. He's not high upside pass rusher, but he could carve out a role as a dependable pass rusher in the NFL. The model sees him as a likely round 3 selection. The model's edge 9 is where things start to get a bit crazy. Reese is where the model and projection philosophy diverge a bit. The raw production with a score of 49 and run defense with a score of 55.9 are underwhelming, and that drags his edge score down, 60.3. However, the athletic score of 70 and the flashes on tape suggest more upside than the numbers capture. This is a classic case where the model doesn't fully understand the count for projection. Reese hasn't fully converted traits into consistent output yet, but the tools are there. His pass rush grade of 69.5 hints at developing ability, not a finished product. If you're betting on growth, he's more appealing than the score it suggests. The concern is whether he'll ever become anything more than a traits-based rusher. The model has a round 3 grade on Arvell Reese. This next edge player is more of a developmental prospect, Keldrick Falk. Falk is a developmental profile with clear limitations right now. The pass rush grade, 26.5, and production grade of 33 are major red flags, and the overall edge score of 49.4 reflects that. However, his athletic score, 66.5, and solid run defense score of 65.9 suggests he has a base to work from.
They'll rush for in a
He
fifth
has
late.
more of a traits and
Robertson
tools
has it
player
batted
at
right
this
at the
stage,
line. It is
lacking
Keldrick
refinement and
Faulk on a tiny
consistent impact.
Highland home,
The breakout age
Alabama.
of 70 is decent, but
Robertson
it hasn't
in the
translated
pocket.
into
He'll
production.
bail now. And
This
he
is a
goes
long-term
down.
projection.
There's Keldrick
Teams
Faulk.
are betting on
And all
coaching and
1,000
development
people in
to get the
Highland
most
home,
out of
Alabama
Falk.
rejoice.
People are happy
The
that the
model
Packers
grades out
traded
Falk as a
for Micah
late day 3
Parsons.
grade.
It's because in late game situations you need a closer, and Keldrick Faulk.
Thanks for watching and